Hello, my darling dolls. Welcome back to another episode of Can She Light This Incense, or is it going to just be a big pain in the butt? No, I'm just kidding. We are, as promised, finally doing another spell jar tonight. It is the new moon, specifically the Scorpio new moon, which means, yes, my birthday's coming up very soon. But also, it is a right time for us to do the abundance jar that I've been talking about here lately. I know I mentioned it a couple times. I have just been super bad at coordinating stuff, honestly. I'm about to just stick this in a candle. This thing is great for lighting candles, but the incense just never wants to catch. Oh, wait, I think I got it. It's one of those weird things. All you have to do is complain and then it works. So, like I said, we are going to do our abundance candle, or spell jar. Green candle, because abundance. So this is going to be a general sense of abundance. Not necessarily financial, but of course that is always one of the many ways you could be abundant. Also, the holiday season is coming up for anyone that celebrates Yule, Thanksgiving. Just cleansing the jar with smoke there from the incense. Sorry. Go ahead and show you that a little better. But if you celebrate Yule or Christmas or Thanksgiving, or you are just feeling especially thankful, wanting to bring some abundance into your life in the way of, often people think of finance, but also new friends, abundantly happy. There's many ways you can feel abundant and bring abundance into your life. So that is what we're going to be working on today. So we've got a lot of fun things to work with here. Let's start with our base is going to be, do I want to start with, no, I'll do stones last. So I've got an interesting mix going for us here. We are going to use some blue sage, which is a little bit of an everyman, cleansing, healing, abundance, wealth, success, spiritual growth, and protection. Blue sage is a workhorse. It does it all. So we're going to start here. And the new moon is great for spells like this, where you're talking about bringing things into your life. The new moon is for new beginnings. There's still some smoke coming out of here. Isn't that lovely? Don't know if you can see it super well, but it's pretty cool to watch. And the smoke is just cleansing. The incense I'm using, I'm still working on that pack of white sage and dragon's blood incense. So it smells fantastic. But new moons are great for bringing energy into your life. And then at the full moon is when you see how it's culminated. So for things like an abundance spell, the new moon is the time to start. So we've got a good amount of blue sage in there. My spoon is holding onto it pretty tightly tonight. One thing that you guys usually don't see that I do, I kind of like regular maintenance stuff, and I might do a video on this one day if you guys want just a general kind of how do you take care of all your things. I have this blend, purification oil that I use, if it'll show it. Nope, I'm making it worse. But I have this purification oil blend that I also get from Phase, and I use it on my spoon, of course. I use it on this dish that I use when we do these jars to collect the wax and everything, so that any residual energy is cleansed from it when we're done, and a couple other tools and pieces. So that kind of oil for purifying stuff and cleansing stuff kind of helps remove any lingering energies. Normally, I do it several hours before we have a video, or a day before, or 2 days before, when I'm getting ready with my space. But I didn't do that this time. I just did it a little bit ago, so my spoon is still probably slightly damp. I even used it on a little bit on the cork for the jar, because we're cleansing the jar itself with smoke, but the cork, I rub a little bit of purification oil around the inside, since that's going to be in there and there's no way to purify that by itself. So I use purification oil. Next up, we're going to use some Irish moss. Also great for success with wealth, and if you are traveling, throw a little bit in your bag in like a sachet or a pouch, because it's good for protection while traveling. Specifically, those two things: good fortune with money and protection while traveling. So we'll put a couple scoops of the Irish moss in there. Maybe a pinch, just a little pinch more of the Irish moss. And here's where we're going to get a little silly with it. Oops. Or I'm going to start knocking stuff over. You know how I love breaking things. I have some blue corn flour, which is lovely, from some other crafting stuff I've worked with. And while it is usually used for like third eye opening and that kind of thing, it is also used in spells of abundance. So we'll add just a little bit, bitsy bit, just a couple spoons of blue corn flour in there. And again, I don't use this a whole lot, but it also has several applications as a tea with medicinal properties. So it is very useful. I personally need to look into it more. I'm more of a rock girl than an herb girl, but I'm learning. You got to diversify those interests. And then the last thing we're going to use, herb-wise, this one's not going to be quite as full as some of the other jars I've done before. And that is a-okay. They don't always have to be full to the brim. Is some cinnamon. We used cinnamon before. Cinnamon is great for home, hearth, protection, but also abundance, and success. So we're going to break this apart into jar-sized pieces. I do still have some, but I also got some fresh cinnamon just because I'm silly like that. I feel like half the time I end up doubling up on ingredients just because I forget all about stuff I already have. Oh, and you definitely do not have to buy sticks of cinnamon like this, because they can be slightly pricey, especially if you get them at like the grocery store. If you don't have a supply store like Faye's anywhere near you, cinnamon can be very expensive. And with the holidays coming up, even more so, because people love using it for recipes and decorations and all that other stuff. You can use ground cinnamon. In fact, one of the best ways to use ground cinnamon for protection and prosperity is on the first of the month. Go outside and blow it from your hands through the doorway to your home. And that's a little baby 2-minute spell you can do every month on the first. Very fun. So we've got all of our herbs in here. The cinnamon actually fills up quite a bit. And then I've got 3 different stones because I went and I got 2, and then I went back a different time and got a 3rd. Because again, I tend to forget what I already bought. So we have this beautiful combination. Coincidentally, they are all green. Now I will tell you, disclaimer, not every green stone is for money or abundance. And not every stone for abundance is green. I am just a silly goose. And I tend to do stuff like this. So we have malachite, which has these very distinctive, lovely bands that you can maybe see. It's a little dark in here tonight with winter coming up. Maybe on the back you can see a little more of the banding that makes malachite so distinct. But that is a great one for abundance and attracting money and success into your life. So we have malachite for abundance. Number 2 here, we have bloodstone for abundance. It It's a lovely mix of green with some red, like there. A couple different shades of green. The veining is absolutely beautiful. I wish you could see it a little more clearly, but it is a little dark in here, and I kind of like it that way. I am definitely not an overhead light girly. I am a side table lamp and candle gremlin. Third here, this might look like jade. Some people would think it's jade since we are talking about abundance and money, but it is not. It is actually green aventurine, I think, or is it Amazonite? Shoot. Whoop. It's either green aventurine or Amazonite, whichever one it is. It is for abundance, prosperity. And I know I picked it out with that in mind. Because I look this stuff up obsessively when I'm getting ready to do a spell. So, at the time, I know it was correct. But there is everything in the jar. Go ahead and pop the cork on there. Give it a good push. And it is basically full now. I mean, look at that. I think I filled up quite nicely with the herbs and then the 3 stones, and the cinnamon did a beautiful job here. So, last things last, we get to do the fun part, which is lighting the candle to seal the jar and seeing how many times I hurt myself in the process. Yay! I am not complaining. I swear half of my jokes just sound like I'm complaining. I do enjoy this part. Gwen says, hello everyone. Yeah, even though I do tend to burn myself quite frequently while doing this, it doesn't actually bother me. Think about that what you will. But yeah, it's really not that bothersome. Maybe I'm just weird. So let's give the candle a few seconds to get started so that it can start drip, 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 dripping wax for us. Because we're going to need it to drip, 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 drip down to make a nice seal. And I'm going to bring you in just a little closer. Because this part, I need to be able to see what I'm doing with my hands. So I'm going to put you right there, and hopefully I will not block your view with my hands while I'm doing this. Is that okay, my doves? I hope this angle's okay with you. Get you another close-up of the jar here before we get started with the wax seal, so you can see all the elements. I think the lighting might be a little better from this angle, honestly. I don't mind that part at all. Yeah, I have to do it with this hand because if I try to do this with my left hand, I will definitely get nowhere and hurt myself. It's going very well so far. A nice slow start to the candle. Give it a few seconds to start drying. The other problem with this is if you try to go too fast and you keep holding the candle super duper close, you're just going to keep melting the wax that you're dripping on because of the heat. I learned that after the first couple times. I was like, why does it feel like I'm using a whole lot of wax and getting nowhere? Well, that would be why. Because for the sake of, I guess, over-directing in some ways, I end up holding everything really close together. And also, usually a little bit closer to my face than I probably should, because my vision is not the greatest. So I have to actually fight with myself to hold this as far away as I am. Recording it is actually kind of nice in that regard. I cannot hold it all the way up next to my face, because if I did, then you would not be able to see, and that would be no fun. So thank you for helping to save my eyeballs. But yeah, if you're holding the candle too close all the time while you're dripping the wax on, it's just going to keep melting and rolling all over. Which is not what you want. You want it to drip and harden. And it does harden and cool a lot better on the glass, because the glass is not porous, whereas the cork is very porous. So you can see where I've been dripping it on the glass and it's already hardening very nicely. But up on the cork itself, it takes quite a bit more for it to harden. I might be going too fast. I think I'm pushing the candle a little hard right now. It's alright, we'll get through this. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. That's a bit weird. We're supposed to be thinking about and manifesting our abundance, and I am over here being Dory. What else is new? Anyone that knows me will tell you that is not altogether weird. Well, I mean, it is weird, but it's not altogether unusual by any stretch of the imagination. Just a little bit more on this side, I think, and then I will be satisfied. No, I will not start singing Hamilton. Although I am a bit of a show tune girly. But there we go. That is our beautiful abundance jar done. Just going to allow the wax to cool and set completely. But otherwise, we are all set. Let me know if there is anything that you would like me to talk about anytime soon, any different kind of spells you would like me to try. I'm kind of running out of ideas, honestly, as far as different spell jars. I mean, we did the elemental jars, we did the beautiful little dream jar, this guy right here. We did the self-love jar. That one was fun. I really liked doing that one. Yeah. Oh, you know what? We could do some witch balls for Yule decorations here coming up. Maybe dry some oranges and do some different things with that. Make a wreath. Oh yeah, we got some options. They might not be spell jars, but we've got some options. Okay. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, my love. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I love you always. And I'll see you again soon.